Welcome to a special episode, Recap Mania, coming to you Tuesday night. We do recorded Tuesday, live Thursday still, of course. Welcome to episode 3, season 2. Discuss what's going on in wrestling. Of course, I'm always joined by Retro Relapse 210, aka Fern.
What up?
A married man now.
A married man now.
Pre-recorded married man.
And of course, still hitting the ones and twos. It's another day of business. Rival, aka Cody. What's going on?
What up, boys?
We're talking wrestling, talking AEW, we're talking WWE, Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, Dynamite, and Rampage. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna give you the match of the night. My eyes, match of the night this week. Top Flight versus Mox, Bryan Danielson. That was a damn banger. I think it gave me everything I wanted from AEW. The newcomers got a good shot. The old guys didn't get over right away. It was a slugfest from start to finish. You never knew who was going to win. So the Top Flight kids got their second win, started coming back. The veterans, of course, wily as can be, just don't give a shit, and they're going to start hitting solid chops, and you see everyone bleeding from their chest, black eye, all that good stuff. It was a great match. I enjoyed the whole. Of course, AEW doesn't have any storylines essentially with all their characters or all the wrestlers, but I enjoyed this one. Young guys got a shot. It wasn't just Dante Martin. It wasn't just his brother. It was actually Top Flight versus what I thought a group that broke up, Blackpool Combat Club, and they didn't. Daniel Bryanson's right there with Mox. Good match, good chemistry. You saw the emotion. You saw the young kids take those hits and say, "Keep on giving it to me, Mox." You can see him like, "I'm gonna give it to you." Boom, boom, back and forth, back and forth. It was a good match. That was my match of the night. What do you think?
My match of the week or past week, since there's so much wrestling that happens every week.
So much wrestling,
and I'm gonna have to top you, and I apologize only because what took me and grabbed my attention was Bryan Danielson versus, I can't pronounce his first name, but Takeshita, the Japanese superstar that AEW acquired from New Japan.
That was
a banger of a match, because not only did it show almost a David versus Goliath, I know we touched on that last week, kind of show out match. You had Takeshita really put himself out there and show how good of a wrestler he is. And for people like myself who don't really pay attention enough to New Japan, I know Cody does. I can't speak for Cody, but I know he does pay a lot attention to a lot of those bangers over there. They brought it to the States and they showed us what he can do. And that boy, for being as big as he is and fighting little Brian, man, it was a banger of a match. And they were going all over the place. And it wasn't just flippy floppy kind of stuff either, because I enjoy that. I love that kind of throw around the ring kind of wrestling, but they were beating the crap out of each other. It was awesome. It was awesome. That was a banger of a match for Dynamite. Don't get me wrong. I got to see the girls afterwards, and they had their moment in that tag team match. But so I'm pretty sure the Elite with the Lucha Bros and Death Triangle and Pac doing the Escalera de la Muerte match. You know they were doing that, but you see quite enough of that. But just that one-on-one told a great story, and as heavy hitting and all over the places it was, Takeshita, he's the deal, man. He's got my eyes right now.
Match of the week, Cody. What's your match of the week?
Well, Vern kind of took it from me.
I know. I wanted to beat you.
I was going with it.
I kind of figured you were. That's why I was like, no, let me get on Cody first.
Konosuke, Takeshita puts on a fucking hell of a show. He always has. Finally, everybody here can see it. See why AEW hopefully paid the big bucks for him, because he deserves it. Daniel Bryan, excellent guy to put him with. Top 3 greatest wrestlers wrestling right now is Daniel Bryan. You could put him with the fucking goldfish flopping around the ring, and he'd find a way to fucking sell it and make it great.
Mhm.
So these two just put on an absolute banger. I will say, you touched on the Jamie Hayter, the Brit, the tag match.
Mhm.
Surprised by that match. I think something is waking back up in Britt Baker. She might be getting a little bit excited about wrestling again. She's actually wrestling a little bit better. Jamie Hayter should be the champion. Stoked she's the champion. And that it I'm speaking on this women's tag match because of course we already touched on Daniel Bryan. So I'll give you a different match. Daniel Bryan.
Wait. Is this your honorable mention for the week?
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
say
all
that.
right.
This is my runner-up.
Wait. Well, before you get into it, I'm gonna say right now that the Recap Mania has unanimously agreed that AEW has put on matches of the week for us three as our humble opinions. So I'm gonna say this is a Recap Mania stamp of approval for AEW taking the week for match of the night, match of the week, whatever it is, match of the week, stamp of approval. Boom. Recap Mania said AEW had a great week in wrestling. Now we're gonna get into our honorable mentions. Always talking about
A-
women's tag team match.
And it might interject. The reason why is because they put all their good stuff out for Los Angeles.
Was at the Kia Forum. So,
Mm.
Cody, go into your honorable mention. Fern can go his honorable mention for the week. I'll go my honorable mention. Let's get into it.
We saw Paige, or however the fuck she was taking bumps. She took that neck breaker, and it was kind of her I can still do this kind of match.
Mhm.
Which we were worried about. Which we were worried about.
It's her second match. Her
Yeah.
second match back.
We were worried about her doing something to show that I'm okay. I was a little worried. I saw this match. I was a little worried. I was like, I know they're gonna sell it. I know they're gonna push the neck thing because why wouldn't you, right? You've been out for X amount of years. You gotta push the neck surgery, and I've still got it. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go on.
And who else could you put her with? Who else could Saraya go against that's gonna be safe? I think it was an excellent choice. My only wish is it wasn't Toni Storm. I still don't think she can wrestle very good. I wish it was Sheeta, but of course we saw that developing. She throws the kendo stick in. She's hopefully gonna join Britt and make that heel turn. We see it coming. Everybody was, of course, disappointed that Monet didn't show up.
Mercedes Monet or
Yeah.
Money.
I'm glad she didn't show up. I hope she doesn't show up. Go do your
She
own
will.
fucking thing in New Japan. But if they did want to bring her in, then this sets it up perfect because now Sheeta joins them. Oh, now look. Now it's a 3-on-3. They need a fucking partner. Who can step in?
And I believe that they're going to work this till Revolution, and that's where we're going to get Mercedes at Revolution in March. Only because she's got her big match against Kyrie in February.
And if New Japan pulls that bullshit where she comes in and wins a belt right away, I'll be fucking pissed. Don't
Dude,
do it,
you
New
already
Japan.
know she's going to. Come on.
She shouldn't.
Come on. You already know. Kyrie can afford a loss. You don't want to make your incoming star. If it
She does
You
not
probably paid
deserve
big
a
bucks. You
title
probably
match.
paid big bucks.
But
You
if
probably
you
paid
read on
big
the,
bucks for her.
if you read on the dirt sheets, their subscriptions for a lot of their shows or whatever went up with Mercedes going over there, 100,000 plus because of that.
Build a story. Have her wrestle a few times. She's coming in and her first match is for the fucking belt. Fuck off.
Remember, but again, we talk about this with all these other wrestlers that we might not agree with who get these title runs. Her name carries weight, especially in women's wrestling.
Especially because of where she came from, and
Yeah.
knowing that she needs to reinvent herself. Why not reinvent yourself in New Japan? Give her that to put eyes on her, and then she'll lose it to someone else. Of course she will. She's not going to have a Roman Reigns kind of,
Not gonna
hold
have a
on with
run.
a
She's not
belt.
gonna, yeah.
She's not going to
have
get that
that
kind of run. That would be dumb. But that'll put eyes on New Japan as well, because that's the whole name of the game, is where do you get your money from? The people are going to buy the pay-per-views and stuff. And for her to be the New Japan champion at Revolution, holding that belt going in there. Hello, FTR was doing it when they were holding their tag teams, right?
Okay,
Makes
well,
sense.
let's not jump too much into it. Fern, what's your honorable mention for the week?
John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page.
Ooh,
You
that was a
wanted to
banger
see
right
it.
there.
You wanted to see it. It's been building up
That was
and
a
building up, and he
banger.
finally got it. The clearance to come in, and man, was it just back? It was just a bar fight. It was just a bar brawl all over the damn place. And
It was a good match. It was a good
Moxley
match.
looked bad at the end. Moxley looked bad.
He got his comeuppance. Hangman gave him, and you could see that he had some regret on doing it. Like, I could have cost this dude his career, but he was like, fuck it.
He almost cost him mine. So
exactly.
Hangman's got a heart. Hangman's got a heart. I mean, come on, married kid, whatever. But at the same token, by seeing what he did to him towards the end, it was like, wow, man. That was a banger of a match. And you wanted to see it happen. You wanted to see Hangman come, and it would have been dumb for Moxley to go over again unless he actually did get hurt again or whatever the case. But you wanted Hangman to get that, to get some kind of momentum, because we don't know where the stories are going to take Hangman this time around. If he's still going to be hanging around Dark Order because it's been a while. If he's going to go on his own on a solo run trying to go for a belt. We don't know anything yet.
Yeah,
so
that's the big three takeaways for me is you now gave Hangman the opportunity to run at a belt. I don't know what belt, but at a belt.
A belt.
You now gave Moxley, he can enter concussion protocol. He can finally take that time
Take his
off
break.
he's been fucking wanting.
Yes.
So that can finally go. And lastly, you just you put the bow on this. You let it stew. Let him have his time off. Let Mox have his time off. And then he comes back heel turn. BCC, you're a Blackpool Combat Club. You were supposed to. We've talked about it before. You were supposed to hurt people. You come back wanting revenge, and now you're out to hurt people. You can come back as a heel turn. So as long, and again, AEW doesn't have writers, so this is all speculation. They could fuck it all up again like they do so many times. But you're set up.
They probably will.
Set up so perfect to do this shit now.
Oh, I'm gonna deviate from AEW, and I'm gonna say my honorable mention: Usos.
It's a tribal chief.
Drew McIntyre. Shut up. Usos versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. That was a fucking match. You can see why the Usos are still the undisputed tag team champions. That was a match. That was a great match from start to finish. The storyline in between with Sammy and Roman apologizing to him kind of added a little bit of fucking frosting to the cake. Like, the match itself was a banger. You add the storyline about the tribal chief and everything, all the turmoils that's going in within that group on the head of the table, all that nonsense. But Usos, again, I'm still a big fan of main event Jey Uso more than Jimmy. But it's a great match. I love Sheamus. I had my ups and downs with McIntyre because I like him. Then he hits like that stale run, and it's just the same thing over and over. But them two together, Sheamus and McIntyre, versus the solid team of the Usos, like it was a great night for me of tag team wrestling in WWE. AEW has tag team wrestling in spades. See it all the time. This was not only wrestling, but it was story. It was a build up. It was something that has been culminating from them screwing Sheamus and McIntyre over at War Games before that, when McIntyre was making a run at Roman Reigns. So I like this match. It was probably my favorite match. As an honorable mention, it was great tag team wrestling for me. WWE did it again, added story and wrestling all together. It was a fun night for me. It was a fun week for wrestling. It really was. Like, you're starting to see stories progress, right?
Yes.
Which is great.
And
Stories are progressing.
I've got
Stories are
one.
progressing.
I've got one I gotta throw out there. I've got one story that needs to be
Wait,
put out there.
wait. But
And I
you know,
got two questions for you,
two stories questions for him or me.
for both of you.
Okay, so stories are progressing, right? And our next topic, promos, fire or flop. Have anything to do with what you're going to talk about, Fern?
Yes.
Perfect. So, fire or flop promos this past week. What's your hot take?
Adam Cole, baby. Fire. Fucking fire. Boom.
I have bad news for the
For the
AEW locker room. I got bad news for the AEW locker room. I was glad to see it. That was a fire promo. I want to see him be a fighting champ, not just a fighting back piece or mouthpiece. He needs to have GOAT just like Daniel Bryan's. Put them in a program together. Bryan and Adam Cole. Tried it once in WWE during Survivor Series when it was NXT Black and Gold, SmackDown, and Raw. Adam Cole fought Daniel Bryan. Adam Cole fought Seth Rollins. Different matches, different times when NXT was making their invasion of the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that in AEW because they let them go as far as the wrestling ability. They let them go. I want to see it. Adam Cole did put on a fire ass promo program. He set himself up to run at any particular belt, any particular feud. I just hope they don't flop it. I hope that Jaguars that Tony Khan owns doesn't fucking make a fumble and ruin this whole story, this whole comeback. We're gonna see, right? We're gonna see.
You can put the TNT on him, and you'll put eyes on it because it needs eyes. Darby Allin is a good fighting champion. He's a 2-time TNT, just like Sammy is now. I wouldn't mind Adam Cole holding on to the secondary belt, but he needs to run with the big belt. My opinion, run with the big belt. The only issue with that, how long are they going to keep MJF with the belt? You have him facing Bryan Danielson at Revolution pay-per-view coming up. I may be wrong for saying it, but I believe where it's going through with it, Bryan's going to fight his way through just like other ones have in the past, and they're going to fight at Revolution. Great. But is it really time to take the belt off of MJF? He just got it. I mean, he hasn't had it longer than a hiccup. What's the reason for putting? I know they want to put a banger of a match, but why have Bryan lose it?
Let's pull it back, right? You gave your fire or flop promo on Adam Cole. Cody, what's your fire or flop? Promo, whatever.
Well, you changed subject when I still had a question for you.
What's the question? We can tear back. We can tear back.
We all picked AEW for match of the week. Two of us picked AEW for runner-up.
Honorable mention. Yeah.
Is this because WWE, do you feel like they're holding back because the pay-per-view is coming up and that's when we're going to see all the bangers? Or do you think AEW is progressing?
Yes.
There's two parts to this because they're two different companies that do two different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think AEW is finally finding their footing. They are. Right? Are they great on every single thing? Not at all. Not at all. They're still learning. They're still taking their small baby steps. They're getting their steps in. They're finally learning to walk before they run. Right? It's happening. WWE also has a big one of their 4 major pay-per-views. Royal Rumble. The road to WrestleMania starts Royal Rumble. So I think they are holding back a little bit, but you still need fans invested. So you're gonna put some programs on. You're gonna start slowly. You're still gonna start seeing the wheels start turning for these feuds, these storylines. Right? You've seen Bray Wyatt come out with LA Knight and Uncle Howdy and all that stuff. And it's slow. Unfortunately, it's a little too slow, but it's happening. Right? They've been showing Cody Rhodes nonstop on debut. That's almost like a nod to, well, Cody Rhodes is gonna maybe be there at WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. You know, Seth Rollins hurt his knee. Did he really hurt his knee, or was it a big self to make Austin Theory look strong? So
Like, oh
you're
no, we
starting to
gotta
see it.
watch to see if he's gonna be on there or not, because it's what's gonna happen.
Exactly. So I think it's a mixture of both. Like WWE is doing their thing with the stories, AEW is doing their thing with putting solid program wrestling on, doing it. So it's I say it's right down the middle. They're both doing their thing. What they're synonymous for storylines, wrestling.
Now to jump forward again, I'll answer your question now on the flop or fire. Flop from MJF. I've seen this gauntlet bullshit before. You did it with Jericho. You're just regurgitating because AEW doesn't have writers and y'all don't know what the fuck to do.
Did it with Cody.
Flop with Adam Cole, baby, because he comes out and says exactly what he needs to say. And he mentions that he wakes up next to Britt Baker. Fuck you, get away from my woman, you bitch. You fucking flop ass promo
What a
because
hater.
of that. You son of a bitch.
What a hater.
And what I wanted to say before you jump into your fire, when he mentioned about if Britt, like how the women's wrestling started, coming back, what happened to Britt? Like what made her snap? It's because she's happy because Adam Cole is back, baby. Boom.
And my flop or fire of the week, I was gonna say MJF was the flop. I agreed. Like it was just same thing we all seen, right? The kid has the ability to hit promos. He does. He has the ability to hit promos. But after going in on Tony Khan, that's his pipe bomb for him, and he can't top that anymore right now. He hasn't had the ability to top it just yet. He's still young, so it's coming. I know he has the ability to do it. You need to put him in a solid program, and unfortunately, him not defending the title or him not actually wrestling and just making Daniel Bryan work for it, it's not going to do anything for me. It just makes him look like a weak champ to me. Fire promo for me is Roman Reigns apologizing to Sami Zayn. I did not see that. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. I liked it. I liked how the story progresses because you still don't know what the fuck Roman Reigns is thinking. Is he going to turn on his family? Is he going to turn on Sami Zayn? Is Solo and Sami going to turn on the Usos? Like, it's just, you don't know. Or are they going to become still be a consistent, cohesive group? Just don't know. And that promo makes me go, what the fuck is this dude doing? He's playing chess 3 steps ahead. Really is, and WWE writing is doing a great job of making that go in a circle because he is not wrestling every week. They're still keeping him on TV,
Which is what they need to do.
He's still part of the story, one of the major storylines of just a bloodline. So AEW can take notes. MGF is part of a storyline, but just one. He's not interjecting himself into AEW. He's just interjecting himself with Daniel Bryan. So the blinders are on. It's focused on Daniel Bryan, but AEW should be the picture because he holds the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. That's why it's a flop for me because he's just so uber focused on this and it's recycling the same garbage over and over.
Yep.
Rather than if he put the promo that Adam Cole had put on about locker room has an issue. There's a big problem for y'all. I'm the fucking champ. That would set me off. I'll be like, okay, this guy is. Yeah, he has a guaranteed shot with Daniel Bryan because they're not going to make him go through the fucking 12 labors of Hercules, essentially, and not get the title shot, right? He's not going to do that. But let him have little side bullshit with the young talent to put him over. Right? Makes him look strong, not weak. It gives eyes on these champions. Hangman Page did it. Mox did it. CM Punk tried to do it. Jericho did it with all the young guys while he was holding the heavyweight champion. It just makes sense. That's my take. That's my hot take on that. Now, by going into that, I want to talk about anything that maybe stood out to you. Debuts, swerves, or oh my god moments. Anything stick out to your head about any of the swerve, a debut, or an oh my god moment. And I want to steal Fern's thing because seeing Adam Cole was a fucking oh my god moment. Finally, I've been waiting for Adam Cole. Since we talked about it enough, that's my oh my god moment essentially.
That's my swerve
What are your
moment.
Fern?
Because he swerved, and said,
See,
in the locker room, you're
I'll
not
admit that'll be my swerve moment because I figured they were bringing out MJF or somebody. So kudos to that swerve. My two get the fuck out of here moments because there's two of them. AEW, you're dominating the show this week. Jungle Hook, get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up.
That I wanted to call that my flop, dude, because I
It was a
like
flop.
I
It
like
was
the
a
fact
flop.
of Jungle Hook as something that could potentially be something because you got two
They're
young
young
newcomers
guys.
that could, fare as a tag team.
You
I
just
just
made all that. You split Hook from Danhausen now. You split Jungle Boy from Luchasaurus. You did all this splitting to stick them together. Give them the fucking single run that you potentially wanted to do with them. Why are you cramming these guys back into a tag team when you just did all this work to split them both from tag teams?
They have nothing for
nothing
them.
for them,
That's what it is. And nothing
especially
for them,
when
and
you're
on
when you're
TV.
putting them against Bill Morrissey, Big Bill, and Lee Moriarty. I get it; they're the firm. I get it. There's some heels that are pushing around, but they got nothing for those guys either. So that
Put
should
them
have
on
been
TV.
a
them on
Rampage
TV.
match.
And
Should've
another
been.
Rampage match that another get the fuck out of here moment. The Ricky Starks fucking on what's it, Andretti fucking coming
Ready?
out and then talking shit about the fucking hat with the Jericho Society with fucking
Jake Hager.
yes.
Here.
So now they're gonna fight on
I like this
Rampage, I
hat.
think.
I
And
like this hat.
hey, he's gonna lose. Ricky Starks is gonna win. I'm tired of seeing him fucking lose. He's a former WWE champion and he gets squashed all the fucking time in AEW. Like, I'm just fucking over it. Like, get writers, make better storylines, cause I'm tired of this shit.
Oh, let's not go too much into it because we said our flops. We said our oh my god moments. We said our debuts. Last topic we're gonna get into the night is hot takes on storylines, upcoming pay-per-views, or a match you're looking forward to. Right now, I'm gonna start it off. I said my hot take is AEW rid of Eddie Kingston. Garbage promo, garbage wrestler. Do not fucking do a Sting Darby scenario to the fucking House of Black. If fuck of all people, Eddie Kingston. If you do that, I swear I'll fucking stop. I will stop watching AEW because what the fuck? You build them up, you give them fire promos again, and the first people you put them up against is fucking Eddie Kingston, this garbage person. Real life, it's just a human bag of waste.
Would you rather see the House of Black or what's the tag team name, Cody?
Which one?
Kings of
For
the Throne.
yeah, would you rather see the Kings of the Throne versus Jungle Hook?
Kings of the
I would
Black
much rather see
Throne.
that.
Kings
I
of
would
the Black
much rather.
Throne.
I would much rather see that than Eddie Kingston in a program with House of Black. Because if you watched it, it was almost like they were trying to recruit Eddie Kingston, like in a sense, right? They're obviously not going to, but they made it seem like, why don't you just wait? I like you, Eddie. I like you. I like this. We used to be really good friends. Blah 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 blah. And then you had to be like this. Like I just don't like that. Like that was a waste of the House of Black all over again. So my hot take is AEW, don't fuck up the House of Black. Get your shit together. Let's make them at least contender for either the tag team or the trios belt. Something. Let's get them in the conversation. Get them in the conversation at least. My hot take storyline. Oh. Chuck.
You want me to go, Fern? Or...
It doesn't
Sure.
matter. Yeah. Remember, hot take on a storyline, an upcoming pay-per-view, or a match you're looking forward to.
I am gonna co-sign what you said because I feel like House of Black's promos were fire when they were coming back, but now that they are going against fucking Eddie Kingston and company, their promos suck. you're praising Eddie Kingston? Why? The guy fucking blows dick. Like, I don't want to hear you praise that piece of shit. And you're supposed to be this dominant thing. Julia Hart's supposed to have this mean streak. Why is she wrestling on fucking Dark? That put her against one of the fucking baddies on TV. Let her beat the shit out of her. You need more women. You need better women wrestling. Let fucking Malachi or Buddy or somebody go out there with her, escort her to the ring, and let her just stomp the fuck out of one of the baddies. Come on, AEW. Come the fuck on.
Match I'm looking forward to seeing is MJF versus Bryan Danielson. Because I want to know where this is going. Past that. You have MJF holding the belt, and like I said earlier before, because I know you cut me off for this point, he's gonna win it. They're not gonna put the strap on Danielson. They should. They need to. But MJF, that I believe it was a wrong opponent to put for one of his first bigger, earlier events for him to wrestle with and be the first one. But they had to put a name. You got to get some kind of attraction. You got to get some eyes on it. Danielson's a perfect person. But what did he say when he wanted to be there? Daniel wants to put people over. So perfect for another stepping stone for MJF. Be the better man in the world and still call yourself the best in the world. Whatever, that's great. Or better than you, you know it. You know what it is. It just, I think it's a waste for Danielson when he should be holding a belt. But now that Adam Cole's back, I would love to see that come into the fold, come into the fray, come into the point where we see him go against MJF and take it off of him. And who knows, maybe they could do it at the next pay-per-view after Revolution, which is Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing. And to your point, I would like to. If that's the case and you feel like MJF should still continue to hold that belt, I would just like to see where he doesn't think that he's better, like he barely survives with the help of the firm, so it doesn't make Daniel Bryan look weak, because everyone expects Daniel to win.
Yeah, it's an hour Iron Man match stipulation.
Like, everyone expects him to win. Everyone is clamoring for him to win, but we talked about this weeks after weeks. AEW gives the fans what they want until they just don't give a fuck anymore. And they're like, fuck you, just take it right away, right? They do that. It happens. WWE used to do it all the time. You just still kind of do it sometimes. So it's not like it's something new. But you want to throw Adam Cole into the mix, maybe he cost Daniel Bryan in the match. Bad blood. And that starts the feud that you want to see. And they make this whole contendership, what we've been talking about with WWE, and maybe we should start talking about with AEW, is let's make these mid-card titles the prestige next level, right? Daniel Bryan loses to the world champion. Then he's in a program with another world-class wrestler. Then that starts building it, right? So, here it is. See? So, as final thoughts on anything? This coming up week in wrestling, pay-per-views coming up, anything you're looking forward to, anything.
My final thought is this. I'm going to throw a swerve at you. Adam Cole said the locker room, not MJF. If he wanted world title, he'd say, MJF, you got a fucking problem. But he said the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
We already know he can carry a lower kind of belt, NXT championship. Cesaro, watch your back. Adam Cole's coming for you. Ring of Honor champion.
I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. Wouldn't mind seeing that. Especially he's a veteran from Ring of Honor, so that's nice.
No.
Yeah.
No,
but it's better
because
than
we need him on AEW TV. We don't need him on pay to watch.
we're talking about eyes. We don't know his health condition right now, so maybe taking it slow and having the one match a month might be more in his speed. It kind of falls into between both. He has a title, but he's not on TV all the time.
Yeah, he can still be on TV holding the title, cutting promos, building to that next match. He holds it for 3 or 4 months until he's 100%, knocks the ring rust off, and then he loses the belt, and then he goes and beats Darby Allin for the TNT.
I don't want to hear all that. It's not the same. I know, it makes perfect sense. What you're saying makes perfect sense. I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that.
No, well, he just
I don't
got
wanna
back.
hear
You know, it's just like
Yeah.
Sarai. Like we knew she was gonna win, but second match she lost. So kind of,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. So it kind of makes play sense. Anything,
Mhm.
Fern, you're looking forward to, or whatever wrestling?
Uh, looking forward to the Rumble. Looking forward to see what's going on WWE side of things to see if they're going to start picking it up now because it is officially going to be the road to WrestleMania, and we want to see if The Rock is going to come out and win the Rumble because if not, they have to have that backup contingency plan. But before anything else, the real Rumble we have to worry about is who's going to own WWE prior to WrestleMania.
Ooh, and that's something, you know, I think it weighs on a lot of people's minds. Not only the talent in the company, but
Because some are
viewers.
ready to jump ship if
Sami
our
Zayn has said he will leave if they sell it to the Saudis. That's just one of the many names that have been dropped.
there was
Kevin knows a part of that too.
Comcast has their name in the hat. Disney, they're talking to them.
Let's do
ESPN,
Disney. Let's do
right?
Disney.
But the one that was very that was very interesting to hear is that the Khans are talking about it. The AEW, Tony and his daddy Khan are talking about possibly acquiring. And I read an interview, and they said, "Hey man, are you paying attention to what's going on?" He's, "I'm paying very close attention to what's going on." And it's a possibility because they're worth they're worth 12 billion.
You want to talk about fucking swerve of the year? Of AEW, Tony Khan and his daddy, the Daddy Big Bucks, buy WWE, fire Vincent McMahon, and leave Triple H in charge. And now it's Forbidden Door all the fucking time. Ah, damn, that'd be nice.
No, you want to hear swerve of the year? Is that Tony and his dad buy WWE and they have Vince McMahon run it.
Like if Eric Bischoff, when Vincent McMahon got Eric Bischoff to run Raw, GM Raw, or fucking swerve, another swerve of the year, they fucking just shut down the company, and now AEW owns all those time slots. Now you got Ring of Honor. Now you got Ring of Honor on Friday nights on Rampage and Wednesday nights, and you have Dynamite on Monday and some other fucking
Monday
show
Night
on
Dynamite.
Friday.
Wow.
Triple H and Stephanie McMahon have both been rumored to be against the sale to the Saudi Arabians. And of course, Stephanie has since stepped down from head of the board. And my throw out question, I threw it out to y'all as well. So we're throwing it out to you, chat. I'm throwing it out to you. So throw your comments down below. Did Stephanie McMahon step down? Because, of course, Saudi Arabians and stuff, they don't respect women quite as much as other countries do. They didn't want a woman head of the board. So, you know, could they have pushed Stephanie out? And that's one of the reasons why Steph and Triple H are so against this.
Knows, but you can find out. Hopefully, Thursday night, the Recap Mania. You know, we're doing live. We're doing pre-recorded shows. You're gonna start seeing us twice a week. We're gonna be what's it called? What's it called? Double tapped. You're gonna get double tapped by the Recap Mania Tuesdays and Thursdays every week. New format, new year, new season,
new beginnings.
Course, you know, new beginnings, right? And you're gonna catch us live, Twitch VODs, YouTube at the handle the Recap Network, Spotify with video, iTunes, and of course at the socials at the Recap Mania. Stay tuned. Things are looking up. Things are coming. Cody talked about merch. He threw it out last week. Just kind of blurted it out. 2 shows. Talking about we're gonna be on your computer screen, your phone. You're gonna start seeing us more. So stay tuned. Things are looking up. You have suggestions? Hit us in the comments. Anything, like, share, subscribe. Of course, you know we appreciate everyone tuning in.
Save us as your wallpaper because this Saturday we're gonna get that trios photo, all of us together, live and in person. So you can save our pictures as your wallpaper.
There you go.
Be ready because you know what? We're the Recap Mania,
the podcast that hits back
twice a week now.